Welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and in this video we're going to be taking a look at a brand new statue from Gentle Giant Limited, and that is of probably one of the most iconic characters and probably one of the more favorite characters from the Star Wars prequels, and that would be Jango Fett. And this version of Jango is a 1/6 scale classic bust version of him from Attack of the Clones. This limited edition piece is going to run you $80 if you get it from Gentle Giant's website. So the big question here is it worth the money? Well, let's go ahead and find out. Now, I'm not going to spend too much time here talking about the packaging, but let's just get that out of the way real quick. It's a very small box, not much to really see here, no windows or anything like that. You just basically get an image of Jango on the front, Star Wars logo underneath it, and otherwise a very black and plain box. As the box rotates, you'll see there's just basically images of Jango from different 3/4 profiles. Nothing really super interesting, nothing that exciting. The back of the box has actually a pretty nice illustration though of Jango Fett. I really like how that looks, as well as a very good bio here. I like how much more of a bio they've got here than some of the other statues too. You know, we looked at all the PVC statues, and those don't even have bios that are this lengthy either. So I like how with the more expensive items, you're getting a good bio. Now, unfortunately, what you don't get with the bio is what you would normally get with other Diamond Select and other sometimes Gentle Giant pieces too, is a listing of who designed and sculpted this. And I guess for the most part, anything Gentle Giant, they're just gonna be more or less crediting Gentle Giant as a whole. But I do miss actually knowing who did this and who did the work, because I like to kind of have that connection with the artist and kind of learn more about their style as well, so that I can maybe hunt down more pieces that are by that particular artist. But in this case, we don't get that credit, so it just goes to Gentle Giant. And we should let you guys know, this is also a limited edition bust as well. There are 1,500 pieces total. My number is on the bottom of the package. There's also a COA inside that we're going to take a look at momentarily, which will have the number. So yeah, stay tuned for that. So without further ado though, let's go ahead and get this Jango Fett out of the box and take a closer look at him from all angles. All right, here's our grand unveiling now, our grand unboxing of this Jango Fett bust. Let's go ahead and pop them open. And in fact, right on the top, you guys can actually see I've pulled out the Jango Fett Certificate of Authenticity. It's basically a trading card style. That's really cool. I like that it's in this kind of format here. And it does in fact slide right on out, it looks like. Yep, pull it out like that. It's basically just the exact same things you see on the box here. And the back of it should list, yeah, that's my number. So I got 1409. Mine's a pretty high number, but hey, it's still limited and I got one, so that's pretty cool for me. And also, just so you guys can see, it's also numbered right there as well on the top. You can hopefully see that. There's my number for it. You guys can see it's also numbered right there on the top. So it's in 2 spots. That's really cool in case you do lose that card. It's also on the packaging styrofoam, and chances are it's gonna probably be on the bottom of this bust too, but let's go ahead and slide them open and find out. Oh, now this is unexpected. That's kind of a fun little detail there. It's actually got the Star Wars logo essentially pressed into the styrofoam. That's a fun little touch there. So let's go ahead and deal with some of this tape, and when we come back, I will have my Jango Fett out of all of this stuff, and we'll take a better look at him. All right, we got everything cut. Let's do this. This is how I like to do it. Looks like it's falling right out. In fact, just caught him. But there you go. That's how he's going to look. Some silica gel packs in there too. That's the styrofoam. Let me get him out of this bag. And there we go. That's our Jango Fett bust. That's how he looks. And a reminder again, this is a 1/6 scale. So it's meant to size up with 12-inch figures and 12-inch statues. Now, to me, Jango Fett was absolutely one of the coolest parts, if not the coolest part of the prequels. We got to see a lot more about the Fett family, see more of him in action as well. Got to see a lot more of the potential that the armor had, and that would ultimately, of course, birth the popularity of the Mandalorian and plenty of other things here. So I feel like Jango doesn't really quite get as much of the popularity factor that is attributed to Boba Fett, because yeah, Boba was the originator, but I feel like Jango did a lot for the Mandalorians and the bounty hunters in general that look like him. So, you know, credit to Jango Fett where it belongs. Now, this bust is made out of poly resin, although, you know, it actually kind of feels metallic despite it not being metallic in any way whatsoever. It just has that kind of feel to it, and that's probably because of the great paint job that it has here. So maybe that's what we should talk about first, just the paint job, because, you know, Jango is not exactly the most colorful looking character in the Star Wars universe. He's actually kind of quite drab if you think about it. I mean, here he is, and the color palette is essentially blue, gray, and a little bit of black highlights. It doesn't really necessarily pop that much. It's pretty drab, it's pretty dull, but in this version of the bust here, you know, it looks really nice. It does pop a lot. It kind of reminds you a little bit of like the RoboCop outfits, and the reason I say that is because you can see here there's some kind of like purple in the fabric that would be in his shirt. I think there's a few purple undertones here and there as well, and it kind of reminds you of like the armor that RoboCop had in the first movie, a little bit of RoboCop 2 as well, where it was, you know, in the first film it's very much kind of gray, silver, and then the second movie was more this kind of like bluish silver. Just a weird little thought I had, but the color scheme, it kind of brings me that notion of RoboCop, and I like that. I like when a statue or anything makes me think about RoboCop. In terms of likeness, I think this is pretty great too. You know, I mean, there's not really much you can get wrong with this character. It's got the helmet, of course, which looks really nice. Excellent detail there. We have this piece, by the way, which does not move. That is a solid piece. That's not going to move anytime soon. You know, there's no likeness to really discuss, to be quite honest, other than just how the outfit looks, and that makes it super easy, thankfully. So yeah, I mean, otherwise, I think everything is pretty much movie accurate. I mean, down to the little rivets in his chest here. The pauldrons are looking nice. The rocket pack is definitely like the best part of the statue. It's got a really stunning paint job on it. I like how that looks a lot. I think one of the standouts to me is actually the base of this piece too. I really think the base works very well with it. You guys can see here, it's got these nice metallic looks all over it. It's kind of like a worn out metallic. You've got the Imperial logo as well on each of the sides of it. It's a good looking base, and I gotta say, you know, it kind of adds to the fact that it makes it look more metallic than it actually is. Because again, this is not metallic in any way. It's not even die-cast metal. It is poly resin, it's plastic, and none of this stuff is painted with like obscenely hideous silver either. This is not like anything that's gonna be popping out. It's not like back metallized, although that would be cool. But I'm glad they didn't do that. It just looks like it's actual real stuff that he wore and not like a toy. And this base that just looks so metallic and also so worn at the same time really just goes together very nicely. Like, this is a really cool looking piece here. Is it weird that this Jango Fett doesn't have any arms? Maybe a little bit, but it is a bust after all. And I don't mind it so much, to be quite honest. It's a little weird the first time you look at it, but the more you do, I think it's kind of neat. And, you know, I don't really know if Gentle Giant has other statues like this, because I'm pretty new to the Gentle Giant game, but I'm sure they've probably got like Stormtroopers and other characters like this too. And it's kind of unique. It's kind of interesting. It almost reminds me of like an oversized chess piece, and that's something I enjoy as well. I like chess pieces when they have this look, and to me, that's kind of what this reads like also. It's bringing a lot of good connections with it. The thing about this Jango Fett statue too is that there's really not a ton of things to discuss, because really there's so few points to talk about. I mean, as I already said, there's not really likeness because the face is covered up. There's just how this whole piece looks. You can tell that the paint job on this, by the way, is pretty much flawless. There's no slop anywhere. I've been looking at this thing now for a few rotations, and I've seen no slop anywhere. So the paint job is 100% perfect for this piece here. It's a simple color scheme, but it works very nicely, and it does pop. It does actually look pretty nice here with that. It's movie accurate, really nice solid base. So really, I mean, this is gonna be a pretty short video because there's not too many other points to talk about. They kept it very simple, and in doing so, they've made it a pretty excellent and almost flawless piece, I'd say. Probably a flawless piece, to be quite honest. I mean, I could nitpick that there's like the helmet over here, or maybe there should be something else there. I don't quite know, but it's such a very tiny detail that it's not a big deal to me. Maybe more serious, crazy hardcore fans will be able to tell me what's wrong with this piece here, but I'd say for the price, for what it is, for how it looks, it's a great bargain, especially when you consider how limited this is as well, to only 1,500 pieces. I think it's a really solid entry into your Star Wars collection, one I'm pretty happy with, and I think you will be too. I think Jango is going to be one of those real underrated statues in this series here, and I think he's absolutely worth putting on your collection's shelf. So if you want to pick him up, go ahead and visit Gentle Giant's website, or check out some of the links we're going to have in our description below, which will hopefully include Amazon. And since Nerd News Today is an Amazon affiliate, making a purchase through them helps us out, and it helps us continue making some really great videos for you guys. So that's our look at the Gentle Giant Jango Fett 1/6 scale limited edition bust. I think that this is a piece totally worth losing your head over. Yeah, did you see what I did there? See what I did there? All right, that was terrible. Anyway, I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today, and we'll see you guys next time with some more statue reviews and everything else that we do here on the channel.